I said the Prime Minister stood up well to China. And last week, his government joined the United States and Canada in protesting against China ramming through a new security law to punish pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong, who last year staged huge demonstrations to defend the freedoms of this former British colony from China. Now, this latest development is very serious. Just last month, Hong Kong police arrested Jimmy Lai, founder of Hong Kong's pro-democracy newspaper, the Apple Daily, as well as other democracy activists.
With cameras clicking, Hong Kong police rounded up China critic and media tycoon Jimmy Lai. 81-year-old lawyer Martin Lee, dubbed the father of Hong Kong's democracy, and at least a dozen other well-known opposition figures. The charge, illegal assembly for organizing and joining 3 unapproved protests in 2019's massive pro-democracy demonstrations.
But under the Chinese dictatorship's new law, Lai could now be charged with treason or sedition. And in fact, the China Daily, which is owned by China's ruling Communist Party, on Sunday warned Jimmy Lai, who has been dubbed a modern-day traitor, has opened a Twitter account to seek public attention, but instead provided evidence for national security agencies for acts of subversion, experts warned. I'm joined now by Jimmy Lai. Jimmy, I'm honoured that you're on the show. I've admired you for a long time when I was a foreign correspondent in Hong Kong. So thank you for your time.
Thank you
do you feel in danger from China?
Well, I may be in danger, but I never think about danger, because if I'm afraid and think about the consequences, what I do and what I say, I would not be able to do anything. So, I just don't think about the consequences. I just don't think about fear. I just go on to do what is right.
I can understand why this is a big issue for Hong Kong. Can you explain why this should also be our fight here in Australia?
Well, I think it shows that the Chinese, they don't respect law. That Hong Kong's national security law, they bypass the Hong Kong basic law, they bypass the Hong Kong Legislative Council. They just impose on us and to destroy our rule of law and destroy our freedom, like snapping the finger. So this is important for the world to know that this is a China that does not respect law and not to be trusted.
Well, I think we got a little taste of that over the last few weeks, Jimmy, with when we stood up for an inquiry into China, the coronavirus, how it started. What help do you actually need from the rest of the world?
Well, we need the help from the world. That's the only salvation. As a people, 7.5 million, and out of which I think 2.5 million people are willing to go out and demonstrate. Now, by the arrest of Martin Lee, who is the grandfather of Hong Kong's democracy movement, and myself and another famous dissidents, they just want to intimidate the moderate people, which are more than 2 million, who tend to walk out in the street to demonstrate. So if they intimidate these people from daring to walk out to the street, they can isolate the radical, a very small band of young radical, and handle them. So this is very important that we can't be frightened. We have, as a moderate, we have to go out the street, even if they don't permit us.
I see CNN reports that you said, I think yesterday, that only Donald Trump can now save Hong Kong. Why is that?
Well, I think only Donald Trump knows how to deal with China by playing hardball. He is the most effective president to deal with China, and he also said that critical thing will happen if China impose the national security law. I think it is very important that we have Donald Trump's support. His support is the only way that we can escape this scourge.
Well, I'm afraid you just committed probably sedition there under this new law, Jimmy Lai. So, my goodness, we'll be lighting a candle for you if this goes on much longer. All the best. I'd say, you know, be careful, but being careful won't do anything. I think just keep fighting.
It's to be brave, not careful.
Good on you, Jimmy Lai. Pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.